As most of you probably know that are listening to this, after 18 years in Thailand, I was back in the States for 17 months. And I've been back about 3 months now. And have been out and about Mukdahan, Nakhon Phanom, Bungkan, Sakonnakhon, Udon, Kankan, up into Nongbu, Lampu, and around quite a bit. And I've been, visiting a lot of old friends, talking to people, and getting a feeling for what's happened here and what's going on. And looking at, having been in Thailand for 18 years, Thailand was my reality. I had nothing to compare. Things like banking, coming back here and finding out that the banking system is, really third world compared to the way it is in the States, and as I understand it to be in England and the rest of the world, where electronic banking is pretty much immediate, and I could do anything 24/7. And security here is third world, and talking to people who I can get along in Thai on a daily basis, okie dokie. But when it comes to things like banking and things like that, it's just, it's out of my league. And I was dealing with this woman, that kept going on about documents. And this was on the phone, which is another problem for me because my hearing's not all that great. I said, "Oh, you need a copy of my passport." And she's screaming, documents. And it came, I finally realized, and, a couple, the word she had in front of her was document, and she couldn't associate document with password. And this, it went on, but it's the state of the country. And coming back, seeing things like, Thailand celebrating holding the world's longest half marathon, and, it's just a complete incompetence. And the Thais seem to be proud of their incompetence. The other thing that strikes me, with this military junta and all that is some years back when Myanmar, being a military dictatorship was sort of, it was a pariah country. And Thailand is, as far as I can see, basically the same thing Burma was back then. And why aren't people, why aren't they boycotting? Why are people still coming to Thailand? Okay, it's later years and people, especially young people, don't care. They're coming for the beaches, they're coming for the full moon parties and all of that. And as long as it's allowed to go on, I guess they'll be coming over here. But sitting here, 67 years old, and there was a time, and most people know me, I was going to be here and I was going to die here. And now I'm really not so sure. And talking to other people my age, people are beginning to look for fallback places. What happens when this happens and this happens? And what happens if it all goes tits up? I go down to Bangkok to take care of some things with the U.S. government on the 13th of December, come back on the 16th of December. Then on the 4th of January, I've got an old acquaintance from years ago who lives in Phnom Penh now. And I'm going to go visit him for 10 days in January and look at it as a possible place to spend a few months a year. The whole visa thing has become so, I was spoiled for years. I was on a retirement visa and I just retired, from the time I was 55, I guess. I had the retirement visa and it was no big thing and things just ticked over. But I've noticed the government workers, the Karachagan, who, over the years I knew some great people who helped me a lot at times and, I couldn't have gotten by without them. But in general, they're an arrogant bunch. And, they work, granted, they have to be around long hours and they have this and their meetings and all of that. But they're, in general, a pretty lazy bunch. And they're also a pretty arrogant bunch. But since I've been back, I've noticed not so much towards Westerners, but towards the Thai people. There's more bullying going on, and there's more rudeness, and there's less. There's just this. They're bullying people, and I don't really understand that. I mean, I do understand it because the military's running the country, and if they want to lock somebody up, they want to lock somebody up. There's no freedom of speech in this country anymore. And coming from America, I mean, I found it amazing in America that college students, are against the First Amendment on university campuses, and I mean, it's one of the great freedoms that we have in America, the freedom to say what's on our mind. And people here can't do that. The government using lèse majesty law, 112 is a weapon, and people using it as a weapon against their neighbors. Because somebody, accused of it, the government is forced to, look into it and investigate. And, if you can't prove yourself innocent, you might be spending 15 years in jail. But anyhow, I hadn't done a From Tom's Desk in a long time, especially a serious one, and I've got a few things on my mind that I'd like to discuss over the past, now and again over the next few months. And just thought people who have listened to me bloviate in the past might take the time and find some of the stuff I'm saying interesting or worth, the few minutes of their time. And as usual, I like to keep it as close to 5. This one's going to be closer to 7. But anyhow, I want to thank you all for listening and look forward to any comments and constructive criticism and all that. So you all take care, and I'll be talking to you again soon. Bye.